In this tutorial, I will teach you how to make this simple wafer paper flower. To start, we'll need to make the center. We'll need 20 gauge wire. I have used green, you can use white. Cut it in half with a wire cutter. Then bend the end of the wire like so into a hook. Then bend it again. And then bend it once more. Once you're done, clamp it so that it is more compact and centered, like so. Then we'll need to mix some dark brown mixture. I have used vodka, feel free to use water if you like. And then do a quick swatch on paper towel to see the color. You'll need a 2.5 cm square. So we'll brush on the brown on the 2.5 cm square piece of wafer paper, like so, to give it some color. It's okay if it's not as dark as you like, because we'll be dusting later on. Once you're done, apply a little bit of edible glue all over the square. I like to apply on the rough side, but it really doesn't matter. And then we'll wrap it around the hooked wire like so, and then we'll squish it and make it into a ball. Try to press it and make it as round as you possibly can before moving on to the next step. This will need to be dried slightly until it is secure before using. For the petal, I'm using Sugar Flare Skin Tone. Here I'm mixing it with vodka again. You can feel free to use water if you like. And just do a quick swatch on paper towel to get an indication of the color. Cut the petal from the template and then trace wafer paper around it. You'll need 6 of the small one and 5 of the large one. You can of course play around with the number of petals of each size to your liking. It is up to you and your experimentation and what you like. To condition the petal, I always remove as much liquid as possible from my brush like so. You can see I'm taking my time to do that before brushing it onto the petal. And I don't brush all the way, I leave about 0.5 cm unbrushed, like so. And then I brush the liquid on both sides before putting the petal into the veinner. And this is what the petal looks like after veining. For this petal, I'm using a bowl tool to create a curve inwards like so. So this is the petal. You'll see in this tutorial, I don't do the same thing to all my petals. I like to give different movements. This will make your flower more lively and natural. For this one, I'm bending both sides and creating a slight tip like so. So you can see it's different from the previous one. And for this one, I'm curving one side inwards, the right side inwards, and the left side outwards like so. You can see the movement in the petal. You can even leave some of the petals as is. So I'm just gonna go ahead and create petals of different looks and different movements for the remaining petals. You can keep watching to see what I'm doing. For one of the larger petals, I'm curving it outwards with a ball tool like so. So this is what it looks like. It's curving outwards. It's opposite to the very first petal that we did. And this one I'm just curving slightly on the right side, just a little bit, smooth it out a little, and that's it for this petal. So I'm just gonna go ahead and complete the remaining petals. Again, for this petal, I'm leaving it as is. Using dark brown petal dust, I'll be dusting my center a little bit. If you have adjusted your conditioning liquid to be quite dark, you don't have to do this step. This is what it looks like. And you can see my flower here, the petal is slightly darker on the edges. I've used Rose from Sugar Flare, the petal dust, to dust the edges. So just the edges. Of course, you can experiment and decide what you like. And this is a comparison between a dusted and an undusted petal, and do the same for the rest. Now that we have dusted every petal, we can stick. So apply glue only at the very end of the petal like so, just a tiny bit of glue, and then stick it onto the center, holding it down for a few seconds to really secure it. To do this step, your center has to be a bit dry. So maybe leave it for 15-20 minutes from making it until sticking for it to be fully dry and secure. You can also use a tool to help you press down. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick all the petals. The first layer, the smaller petals, there are 6 petals, so I'm just sticking it like a triangle. So on 3 sides. And then the remaining 3 petals in between the 2 petals from previous layer. So just keep watching to see how I stick. You can, of course, don't follow any rules. You can also just stick and base it on what you think looks nice or natural. It really doesn't really matter. So now I'm sticking the petal in between the two petals like so in the gap. And then I'm gonna go on and complete the next two petals. With the large petals, I'm just going to stick it around the flower, just in between gaps, and also judging from bird's eye view to see where it looks nice. If in this stage your petals are a little bit wet because you have applied too much glue and it's not staying upwards, it's not holding its shape, you can hang your flower upside down while you're working. Once you've completed sticking all the petals, you can leave it hanging upside down or like placed on the table sideways for like maybe 15-20 minutes for it to completely dry. Then you can use your flower as you wish. So this is what my flower looks like with all 11 petals stuck on. If you'd like to learn more about wafer paper flowers, feel free to join my online classes.